Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. This is the third installment of our TechSphere Talks at Deviniti, where as part of a webinar series, we're hosting solution partners sharing stories of their implementations featuring Deviniti apps. My name is Magdalena Zacharczuk, and I have the pleasure of hosting you today. My role at Deviniti is that of an Atlassian ecosystem business partner, and in that capacity, on a daily basis, I collaborate as part of a team working with solution partners who bring the Deviniti app offering to their customers. And with me here today is Aleksandra Cieślak, one of our fantastic product owners, and Kai Becker, who is a guest speaker from Seibert Media. So I think we're ready to go. Just to give you a heads up on what we'll be talking about today, in case you missed the details of the invitation. Today's topic is service management for non-IT teams, featuring extension for Jira Service Management used in the hospitality sector. I believe that Kai brings real-life use cases mentioning a specific customer implementation, so I'm very keen to hear more details. In terms of the structure of today's meeting, let me just give you a heads up that this is being recorded so that we can afterwards share the recording for everyone who has attended and also those who have registered but were not able to make it today. And we will be hosting a Q&A session at the end, so keep those questions coming in via chat. But we will be circling back to them afterwards, unless the speakers want to pick up as we go along, but we will be making sure that we will adhere to the structure that we've planned. And before we actually go into deep and formal introductions, which I will ask Ola and Kai to do for themselves, let me just ask you to take part in a quick questionnaire that we have put together. Before you should be seeing on your screens a survey, which will give us insight into the experience that our audience today has with the Deviniti apps. So please share information about which of the Deviniti apps you are familiar with. What are the top IT service management issues affecting operations and efficiency at your specific organization? And once we have this out of the way, I believe that we are good to go with the introductions. So let me give the floor to ladies first. Ola, please say a few words about yourself, your role at Deviniti, and your experience in your product owner capacity.
Yeah, sure. So hello, everyone. My name is Aleksandra. The shortcut is Ola. And I am a product owner, as Magda said before. At Deviniti, I have almost 5 years of experience, but in Deviniti and in Atlassian ecosystem, I work for a little bit more than a year. And I was previously developer, software developer, but now I am responsible for developing JSM products at Deviniti. So what I'm trying to do is to make the service management smoother and easier for both sides, so for agents and for our customers. And now I'm trying to achieve this goal by developing already mentioned extension for JSM app. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Ola. Thank you so much. Kai, over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Kai. I've been with Seibert for about 12 years now. As Ola, I started as a developer way ago and have then been an Atlassian consultant, especially for Jira or Jira Service Management the last 6 years. And now for around 2 years, I'm taking care of the whole ITSM portfolio at Seibert, seeing how we can help our customers on their customer journey with our services, our apps, or stuff like that. And I'm happy to talk with you about some topics today.
Thank you so much, guys. So I see that in terms of representation, our setup today is 100% engineering background, which should also give a nice perspective of the topics that we'll be discussing today. So moving on, I believe that Kai has a presentation prepared for us where he will be letting us on the details of the story that we will be discussing today. And Kai, if you're ready, we can fire the presentation up.
Hopefully
Awesome.
you can see my screen. Yeah,
I
right.
can confirm that.
Perfect. Feel free if you have any questions to write them down to the chat, and we can go after them, or we can talk about them after the presentation. So I'm going to talk about service management for non-IT teams. If you're familiar in the ecosystem or in the service area, you know the term IT service management. But service management is way beyond only IT. So there are so many topics or service teams that can benefit from good service management. And I'm going to talk about one of our customers, which is B&B Hotels Germany. Probably a lot of you will know or be familiar with the hotel company. They have a lot of hotels, and they support their hotels and their service processes or service teams with Jira Service Management. Just some facts about Seibert. We are an Atlassian Platinum Solution Partner, and we have 5 locations in Germany and Austria. We are cloud and ITSM specialized by Atlassian, and we offer full service around the Atlassian products, from licensing to consulting, training, hosting, and custom development of apps, for example. Taking a look at service teams. Service management, as I mentioned, is not only limited to IT anymore. We have good service management processes that are essentially today now in a rapidly changing environment. They can help us streamline our workflows, they can improve collaboration, and they also enhance visibility and reporting. Like non-IT teams can report or generate reports and track performance, identify bottlenecks and stuff like that. And this is, for example, you can take HR, or you can take finance, or you can take marketing, for example. They all can benefit from good service management processes. I know done some examples like support for common tasks, from adjustment of working hours to parental leave requests or stuff like that, to order of marketing materials for the marketing service. The service team requirements differ a lot, and we have some similarities to the regular IT service management processes. They all need ticket management, so they need to the ability to create, track, prioritize, and work on tickets from our customers, internal and external. They need, in some ways, automations to help them solve repetitive tasks and processes, and to get their stuff done a little bit more quick. They also probably need integration capabilities, like you have an HR software, for example, or you have a CRM and you want to exchange data between the systems. They need a self-service portal so that customers can raise their tickets, get self-service. A few knowledge base articles maybe get helped by them without raising a request at all. So this all helps improve the service. And also, that's one I really like the most, because we had this problem right now. We scaled really quick. We had a lot of new employees, so we need to scale our service processes internally from around 250 to 500 employees in the last 5 years. So there's a huge scale, and this should be supported via service management processes. Also, as we are talking about non-IT teams, I think it's essential to have a user-friendly interface, and providing an easy-to-use way of people's agents, customers, administrators to navigate through the software and to work on issues. Why Jira Service Management as a foundation? It's already known in the company. A lot of teams use Jira software, for example. They use Kanban boards or Scrum boards to track their tasks and work on them. And it's already seamlessly integrated into other processes like IT onboarding, new employee hires, or stuff like that. And you have the advantages of linking with other products from the Atlassian ecosystem, like Confluence Pages, Jira software, Bitbucket if you are working in development and stuff like that. You have the Jira workflow engine, which is really cool. So you can build even complex processes with staged approvals and stuff like that. And you have this extensibility with third-party apps, which is also really cool. Talking about our customer a little bit, the B&B Hotels Germany, or B&B hotels in general, they have around 700 hotels across Europe, and they are in 17 countries, and they have around 250 service management agents across all departments, and they are split up into 10 plus service management projects. First of all, it is the idea, the company introduced Jira Service Management for the IT department way back. And the first question was, as always, why should we use another service management tool? We have emails and we have that old tool that is working really fine. And yeah, they were just a little bit mad at the IT guys with introducing a new tool. But after all, the adoption was really good, and all of the employees liked the new experience, and they noted that they were helped faster, so the resolution was faster, and they could work on in a quicker way. But then there came a part where some of the people, they had problems in their hotels, like the hotel manager or the hotel staff, they recognized something is broken, like the heating is broken. So what did they do? It's a technical issue. They ran to the IT department, raised a request and said, here, the heating in our hotel in Wiesbaden or in Frankfurt is broken and it needs to be fixed. And this is where things started to get a little bit complicated. So we need to tackle this. So this misdirected ticket, they showed a few things. They showed it was a really good adoption of the new tool because everyone was satisfied with it and how the workflow was implemented and how it all worked out. And the current process they had before using Jira Service Management, it was a little bit unstructured, and yeah, they needed to improve in that matter. And also, employees found it a little bit difficult to differentiate between, is it IT like my notebook IT or my smartphone IT or anything else IT in a hotel, like fire stuff or networking stuff, and non-IT technical stuff like washing machines, heating, dishwashers, stuff like that. So this was the point where they came up with the idea, couldn't we track this complex but pretty easy to handle maybe service requests in an own Jira Service Management portal? So this is where the starting point was. And why shouldn't we do that? Because we could do that. It's pretty easy and it's really simple. We only need a few fields to register such a service request, to get it infos, and to also make it a lot more easy for the agent or for the technician to probably solve the issue when all the relevant info is there. And this was the part where this new project has been created, and it was the ability to track malfunctions of the fire alarm system, the heating system, safety lighting, elevators, air conditioning system, and other stuff like that. And this is also somehow technical, and you need to differentiate a little bit on the severity of a malfunction, because it's depending on the affected system. So if you have an elevator, there might be always some stairs in the hotel, and air conditioning should be useful, but it's not essential. But maybe fire alarm system, for example, that should always work. So the heating, so that it's warm in the hotel and the people get warm water for showering, stuff like that. So to better look at the whole process of how it should be resolved, we are going to dig in a little bit deeper on the process. Like, how is that problem-solving process ideally? So basically, the hotel manager or someone from the hotel, they have their own user in the service management portal, and they can raise a request for their specific hotel they work in. And this is the first thing that's pretty good, because all of the information is stored in this hotel user. So everyone knows who is taking care of the request that this specific hotel in this city has a problem. So when the problem occurs, the hotel reports it, and then someone from the service desk checks for the issue, sees if there is maybe something in the knowledge base, because this heating has been repaired last week, or they had some issues last month, for example. This can also be seen in the other service management requests of the hotel. If not, or if so, nevertheless, contractor is been called and informed, and should identify if there is a problem with the heating, or should check the defective heating. So the contractor is informed. He comes to the hotel, checks for the heating system, tries to resolve the problem, and hopefully he can fix it real quick, because he has the parts, or he can get the parts pretty quickly. But there also are sometimes things like the heating is totally broken and it's not repairable, unfixable, and a new heating system has to be installed. So this will require a much longer process, as there need to be some approvals made, because the heating system is, I don't know, around 80K euros. So this is nothing an employee from the hotel can decide to be replaced. None the manager can decide this. So this has to be approved by a higher instance in the company. So what are we doing? We create an approval request and send it out to the specific approvers. And after all this is finished, then the heating finally gets replaced or repaired, depending on the malfunction. So this is basically the whole process from occurrence of the problem to this problem solving. And it's probably for all of you quite similar to other service management requests you have in your workday life, or in your private life when you raise a request somewhere else. Let's deep dive a little bit more into the separate features of our problem solving process. As I said, all of the companies have their own user for the service management portal. And also there is an asset management integrated into Jira Service Management, which is called Assets. It's a CMDB, and every hotel has its own entry in the CMDB. And also there are allocations of local service providers to these hotels. Like if you are in Frankfurt, for example, in Germany, there may be the same company, the same contractor for all the hotels in Frankfurt. But if you're going to another city, that will probably not be the same contractor, as these are most of the time some local companies, like, for example, plumbers that take care of the heating or drinking water or stuff like that. And so this must be connected to each hotel, which then makes it a lot more easier for the agent, because he already knows if there is someone calling from Frankfurt or raising a ticket from Frankfurt, he can call the separate contractor for this hotel. And this is set up in assets, and it's also automatically added to the tickets when a request is created and has been set to the status where it's assigned. So this is really good and really easy to use for the agents. And it also makes it a lot more quicker to be resolved. And yeah, overall, it's a really good experience. Also, we have predefined email templates. Depending on the information the customer or the employee has entered when raising the ticket, there is extension for service management used to hide or show fields depending on different things. It's used all over the system in a wide variety of projects. And coming back to our use case right now, we have this information in the issue, and based on all of the information that the employee and the agent has entered during the process, we have set up predefined email templates. We are using Email This Issue, which is another app for Jira, to pre-populate the email templates or the comment fields of the email, and put in agent data like what is the contact number, what is the email address, so that the contractor that is informed about the request for service for repairing knows knows who he can call back at the hotel or at the company, at the central service management service desk. Also, the contractor data is automatically inserted into the request or the request form. Like if you have a specific telephone number or a specific email address, that is automatically populated into the form so that the email always gets sent to the right address, which makes a lot more easier for the agent, and it's also more error prone, as the missending of emails to the wrong contractor or stuff like that is way more uncommon. So this is probably the thing. The contractor got an email. He comes to the hotel, looks at the heating system, and now he sees, okay, it's still broken, it's unfixable, and the new heating will cost around 80k euros. So this is nothing a hotel manager can approve, as I mentioned earlier. So what now? For this purpose, we implemented several other things like approval workflows, and also a lot more templates and automatic emails and stuff like that to the appropriate manager levels. And these approvals, they require several information, and they also differ in the variety of the entered data. Like if the cost limit is above a certain limit, then 4i principle is active. So there are 2 approvals that need to be checked, or at another limit, there need to be 2 extra approvals, for example. And if it has a certain amount in costs, they need 2 offers, for example, to get a good compare of the market price. And is there maybe a master agreement in place? Like, do we buy all our heating systems from one specific company here in Germany, for example? Could be an option. So these are all the things that need to be checked. So this shows pretty easy how fast the project can get complex, even though it seemed pretty easy in the beginning. But that was the point where we checked all the approval functionality in Jira Service Management and saw that it's not enough to just set 2 approvers or set 1 approvers, depending on the request that has been created. No, there are so many things that need to be considered, we need to script this whole approval process and then set the appropriate approvals depending on the result of the script. So this is why the approval workflow itself looks pretty simple. The ticket is created and it's waiting for the first approval. If it's declined on the first approval, it will definitely or automatically go to declined. If the first approval, which will be set by a post function to a specific person or a specific group of persons, will be approved, then it goes to temporarily approved. And then another automation checks whether a second approval is required based on the information that has been entered, like how high is the limit? Do we need two offers, for example, all the things I mentioned earlier. And if another approval is required, then it will be sent out to the second approval. And if not, it will get to order approved. And the employee from the service desk will get a notification that he can talk to the contractor or email the contractor that it has been approved and the new heating can be ordered and it all can be installed at the end. So to conclude on this, what are our lessons learned from this project and a lot of the other projects we had with the customer? It's supply creates demand. Like, as we saw in the beginning, there was this IT service desk, this IT service management project, and employees started to like the project. They saw that they get response real quick or quicker than if they only send an email, because they can add more information in the right fields. And the workflows are way easier for the agents. So overall, they had a really good experience. And this is why a lot of other companies or a lot of other departments from the company came and said they would like to have their own project, for example, marketing, e-commerce, or stuff like that. Another thing is keep it simple, not only the workflow, but also try to limit the stuff people need to enter into the form to make it more easy for them to raise a request instead of maybe using the old way of sending emails. And also keep the screen simple to make it easier for the agent to have their work done quicker and to not get overwhelmed by the amount of fields screen shows, for example. Also focus on the tool. So the tool should always support the process, and the process should not be limited by the tool. Usually I'll try to focus on using standard functionality in Jira Service Management or Jira at all, but sometimes it's even needed to do some scripting or stuff like that. But people should improve in their process and not learn another tool and have more stuff to do afterwards than before. And it's always good to have a mixed team of experts and admins so that the experts from the company can input their knowledge and improve on the process and test all the stuff. And having the admins inside the project team will help them shape the vision of the project, and they also know how the project is set up, and they can fix the stuff on their own when we as a consulting team are not there anymore. So this is very essential. Also, I know we had Corona or COVID, and there have been a lot of these Zoom calls, webinars, Skype meetings, or whatever. I still highly value face-to-face dates with the customer, face-to-face meetings with the customer, as they are so valuable. You really get a better understanding of the customer and the teams and the employees they have to work with the process or with the tool, and to better understand what they need and what they want, and to implement a solution so they can more easily use it. And also one big point for the end is rethink processes when you are going to migrate to cloud. So we all know that server EOL probably, where Atlassian stopped selling Jira or Confluence, whatever, for server. And if you have to move to cloud, look at your projects, see how you can update, fix any processes and stuff like that, and yeah, to rethink it and to maybe remodel it for the cloud, because it's a different system and things are working different than they did on server. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Kai. That was really packed with information, and there was so much practice. It was really interesting to tune into your story. I would love to bring a little bit more of a Deviniti component into the picture now, and I believe that Ola has some comments she would like to share regarding the case that you were just presenting. So, Ola, go ahead.
Yes, actually, I have comments and a few questions for you, Kai. But first of all, thank you for showing this use case. It's examples like that, the real life examples, makes my work easier. So it is crucial for me to know what problems clients has. And actually, my research showed me that more and more users of Accenture are non-IT users. So it is crucial for me to know their needs. And I have actually a question for you. First of all, how do you usually identify the tech stack for your clients as a consultant? You already mentioned that the face-to-face meetings are very important for you personally, but could you elaborate a little bit more about the process?
Sure. So usually we start with a workshop where we get all the employees from the customer and our consultants together. We try to limit the amount of people or employees from the customer to about 5 to 6, because we noticed that sometimes customers will bring 8 to 10 or 15 people to a workshop, and then they are starting to discuss problems that they aren't even there. So we try to limit the attendees in the first place, and then we will discuss the processes or the workflows they will try to they want to implement. And Jira is always the base, as we are an Atlassian partner. We only do implementation projects with Jira and Confluence. So depending on the use case that should be implemented, we are looking for ways to improve the process, like having extension to only show relevant fields if they are needed, like selecting one option in the menu first and then showing three other fields to input to the customer, and not showing them at all if we don't need it to solve the issue. So these are key facts about how we are setting up processes or projects. And then we do testing. I would say every 2 weeks we meet with the customer, show them what we implemented, get feedback from the customer, and then we decide, do we need to change the tech stack maybe? Because if we introduced an app in the beginning where we thought that would be a smart idea, and then we came up with testing and see that the app isn't used at all, then we will remove it from the POC. So better set up a process where everything works together and only the needed software is installed. And then at the end, we say, okay, the implementation part is over, everything is working as it should, and then we finally buy the apps and the tools for the customer so that they only need to get the relevant tech stack.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing your experience. You also mentioned at your presentation that there could be a problem when you need to migrate from DC to cloud version. And did you encounter any problems while you were transitioning from DC to cloud?
Yeah, right. As I said, we had this approval workflow with the different levels of approval, and it was previously written in Groovy because this is what a script runner for Jira is using. But in the cloud, there is no Groovy anymore, so all of the scripts have to be rewritten, and some of the functionality didn't even work in the cloud. So there are different APIs for you as an app vendor. There are also limited possibilities than compared to servers. So at the end, the customer is limited by the things where you are limited to. So I would say you will always come to a point in migrating a project to cloud where you will stumble upon a third-party app that has been running for years, and everyone is used to that feature and wants it in cloud again, but it maybe isn't even possible in cloud. So you need to look for workarounds. And in my opinion, this is a good point to rethink the process at all and to see if there have been steps that haven't been used in the workflow, for example, or that had all been skipped in the workflow. And so this is where I when I talk to customers, I would always recommend to rethink the project and maybe to improve and adapt to the new features you got in cloud.
Yeah, I can confirm that copying features from DC to cloud is quite challenging sometimes. But as you said, we are trying to think about workarounds and things like that. And maybe one last question. Maybe you can share any other use case. Maybe do you have something like typical use case for a non-IT usage of the JSM?
Right. So as I mentioned earlier, we got marketing, for example, also with the customer, but also at Seibert, where you can request, for example, banners for ads or like the backdrop I'm actually having right here. I got it sent from my marketing team today, and I requested it via the service management request. So this is basically something, an easy way for employees to request something and a structured way for the service teams to have their work structured and to have all the relevant information. Maybe get some extra information like the targeting group, or what type of people are coming to the webinar, where I need the backdrop for, or what is the congress we are going to, what does the info flyer need to look like? Do we need to make it a little bit ITSM, or is it more agile and Scrum? So these are all information which you can also write down in an email, but it's way more easy to have a structured field for this, and way more easy for the guys from the marketing team to do their work if they have the information in a structured way.
Yeah, great. Thank you. That was actually my last question. Thank you for sharing this.
Right. We're going deeper and deeper, and I also like the fact that we're not shying away from perhaps slightly controversial topics, which definitely is a transition from DC to cloud. My reflection is that it's always, it never comes without turbulence, but then again, stepping outside your comfort zone rarely happens without turbulence. So it's good to know at least what to expect based on your practical experience. I also have some questions on my mind, having listened to your conversation. And first of all, Kai, I'm wondering about how the case that you were sharing with us earlier, how did the customer manage before? I mean, what were the benefits of the approach that you used in the case that you were presenting? And how did you select the tech stack for this specific case?
Yeah. So for this type of service management, there are actually dedicated tools. And our customer was using such a specific tool, which is only used for taking care of maintenance stuff, like repairing heating systems or anything else. And the tool was a little bit clunky, and no one from the company wanted to use it, or wanted to use it on a daily basis. And so there were always workarounds. And then someone from the maintenance department came and said, maybe we can do this with Jira because we have all the information and we have that form, and there is this extension where our partner from the IT department said, so we can do this with assets to document all the hotels and all the departments and all the contractors and stuff like that. So why not try it and why not use it? And that's why the customer came up with this tech stack. Actually, they also looked at other tools, but that was prior the project. Like when they introduced it for the IT department, they were checking with other software vendors, but at the end they picked Jira Service Management.
Right. Interesting, because it seems it's not only about tool adoption, but also changing a mindset of a team, which perhaps is used to something or may have had bad experience with something else. Right. Thank you for that. Ola, coming back to you, as a product owner of extension for JSM, could you perhaps share with us some updates with regard to the plans that you have regarding developing the app? Would you be able to give us a quick insight into the roadmap so that we know what to expect, what's coming in the near future?
Yes, sure. And so first thing, I think it's worth to mention that we recently introduced the support for assets in dynamic forms configuration. And we are planning to develop this functionality to extend possibilities of using assets with in combination with extension. So, for example, we are planning features like support for AQL, and also we are planning to make it possible to show assets fields directly on the portal on the side panel. And yeah, these are planned for the nearest future. And also, when we talk about dynamic forms, we want to give possibility to decide dynamically if particular field should be required or not, depending on the previous user answer. So these are plans for the upcoming months. That would be the answer.
That's an exciting perspective. So we have something to wait for. Okay, another thing that came to my mind, and this will be another question to Kai. I know that Seibert Media has been undergoing some structural changes within the last year. So it would be interesting to know whether you were able to find any applications for extension for JSM internally at Seibert Media. You've mentioned that you have several locations in Germany and Austria, so perhaps there's a use case for managing dispersed teams. Is there anything that you have that you can share with us in this regard?
Yeah, right. I can do that. We have our finance team, which is also using Jira Service Management, and if you are a new employee, you will always have the chance to travel between the offices. So someone from Austria might need come to Germany actually for a meeting or for working on a project for a few days or for a kickoff workshop or something. So they can create a ticket for reimbursements for their travel. And there are actually fields that are also need to be shown if, for example, the location of the destination is Seibert or is not Seibert, and also the starting point of the travel is Seibert or not. So then if it's not, you need to enter additional information. Where did you start from? Did you start from your home address, or have you been at a customer before, or stuff like that? And with what did you travel by car? Did you travel by train? Did you book a flight? Did someone assisted you? Did you pay the flight with your credit card? Did you use your own credit card? Did you use a company-wide credit card? Stuff like that. So these are a lot of information that needs to be gathered depending on selections that have been made before. So this is where a use case where we are heavily relying on extension, because if you show all the fields, I guess there are more than 50 in some, so they need to be filtered in any way. And if not, nobody would fill out the form, I guess. So yeah, that's probably the most popular use case for people traveling a lot.
That's really interesting. So it's a kind of a crossover between hospitality and banking, the use case that you mentioned.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sounds interesting. And speaking of internal use cases, Ola, do we at Deviniti actually have an internal use case for extension?
Yes, we do. And actually, I think I can share my screen and show you how we are using the extension internally. So give me a second. Okay, I think it's visible right now.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So as you can see, this is Deviniti service desks. We have a couple of request types. And for example, we have a new one. It is called Suggest a New Feature, and we are using it for collecting ideas from our clients for new features, as it's said. Let's go inside. And yes, it starts with some native fields. They are required. The user is asked for the company name, job title, things like that. But after that, we have fields configured with extension. I hope you can see my cursor.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this part on the bottom is configured with extension. I think it's worth to mention that from the user perspective, there's no difference if the field is from the native configuration or from extension configuration. And what we are doing here is, depending on the product that client wants to, that client has idea for the new feature, we can show dynamically the bundle of fields depending on the platform that we are interested in. That's the first thing. And the second thing, let's stay with the Jira example. As we already mentioned, we have apps for 2 hostings for DC and cloud. And not all of our apps are for both hostings. That's why we are asking our customers to choose the platform they are using. And let's say we are choosing cloud. And in this app field, the different set of assets objects will be visible depending on the hosting type. So for cloud, we see only cloud apps. And for data center, we see only data center apps. It is configured with assets. And that's how we are using internally the extension.
Yeah, that was a bit of a orchestrated question, because I obviously know the extension use case at Deviniti, but it's always nice to see how it works. Thanks, Ola. We have about 10 minutes left. So just a hint to the audience, if you have any questions that you'd like to throw at our speakers, now's the time. But of course, if something comes to your mind after the event, you can find all 3 of us on LinkedIn. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. With the time that we have left, I was also like to circle back to a topic which is hot right now across all applications, use cases, services, and everything IT. And my question would be, how do you personally feel about the AI trend entering the ITSM landscape? Perhaps Ola, you can take this one, and then Kai can circle back to you.
Yes, okay. So actually, me personally, I feel a little bit excited about this trend. And it is because it can improve the user experience. Because, for example, AI-driven chatbots and virtual assistants enhance the user satisfaction. And it also provides 24/7 availability. And also, I think that personalization is very could be easier with usage of AI. And the biggest advantage, in my opinion, is that is savings of the costs, because with AI we can automate repetitive tasks and freeing human agents for complex issues and reduce the costs of the whole operations.
Definitely. Yeah. Kai, is there anything AI related on your mind?
Yeah, definitely. So with the latest things that Atlassian introduced in Team 24 or implemented already in JSM, for example, there are the AI features to automatically generate request types, or the functionality to automatically create automation rules. They might not be perfect at the moment, but they are a solid base foundation to build up on, and it makes it a lot more easier for also non-technical users of the tools to better automate their processes and to further improve their projects and their configuration. And I think this is the most interesting part, to bridge the gap between the IT guys or the IT employees or the developers like Aleksandra or me that have done this before, and now moving on to a position where we try to bridge that gap with, is it apps or is it consulting or is it anything else, to bringing together the technology and the people they actually want to use it. So I think there are good times ahead, and really looking forward for more chatbots and better automation. For example, a use case with people development could be in terms of HR. Someone is joining the company as a consultant, and then you could ask the AI to automatically book the employee to the corresponding courses he needs to take for his career at Seibert. Like, he should do the ACPs for Jira on Confluence, or he should take a Scrum class, or he should take a maybe anything else that is related to his tasks for his job. So there are so many possibilities to use AI or to use chatbots, and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think
I can maybe add one thing, that there, as from vendor perspective, it's more and more possibilities to develop new apps, and of course we at Deviniti also have apps that are using AI, and we are constantly looking for more.
That's a very interesting, I think, perspective to look forward to and to observe its development. Right, I think we are almost done for today. Thank you so much, both of you, for this interesting conversation and all the insights that you have shared. It's definitely food for thought. I hope our audience today also enjoyed it. I do not see any questions coming from the audience, so I'm guessing that everyone's leaving it for the moment where we're all done for today. And as I mentioned, you can find all three of us on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out. Once again, thank you for your time, for all the thoughts that you have shared with us today. In terms of what's to look forward to in the TechSphere Talks series, the next webinar, which we have not scheduled a date for yet, will be done with the Nomad Mood team, our solution partner from Spain, and they will be sharing their experience regarding the applications of another app that we have in our portfolio, which is called Dynamic Forms. And I believe that just as extension, there are a lot of faces who are familiar with this product. So do follow us on LinkedIn not to miss the announcement about the upcoming webinar, and join us for the next event. Thank you for today. Have a great afternoon. And we are definitely looking forward to upcoming extension for JSM applications and developments in this regard. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.